back. My children, I have returned from the Walmart parking lot with tidings of great joy. Namely this computer case, which is old and nasty. It has a Supreme sticker on it, and I think one on the top that screams, Rick and Morty requires the highest IQ out of all television shows to understand. You wouldn't get it. So, this thing is really old and disgusting and nasty. It has dust everywhere. All the PCIe slots are gone. Some of the fans have, like, headers ripped off. It's really bad. It has this ITX, like, power supply shroud that I only see in ITX cases. But there's one here for some reason. I don't really know why. It just really speaks to, like, the strange nature of this case. It's got like 2 places like with these small cutouts for like 120mm fans up here. It's all just really strange, and this whole buying process was strange. So we're gonna run down the story real quick. So, my story for today begins at the root of all evil in this universe, which is Facebook Marketplace, for those of you unaware. And this guy messaged me off of one of my listings, and he was like, I have this computer, it's listed for $300, it's not selling, it doesn't post, it's got a 3060, it's got like an i7 4960K, which is a really old chip. But he was like, nobody wants to buy it, like, do you want to buy it? So I was like, well, could you send me a video of it, like, trying to post at least, so I can, like, maybe diagnose it on my end? And he was like, okay, so he sends me it, and normally, or older motherboards will have like a built-in onboard speaker on the motherboard that'll make beep codes, like if something is wrong with a certain piece of hardware. And normally beep codes will be like distinct, kind of like Morse code sounding beeps. It'll be like long beep, short beep, short beep, or like a bunch of short beeps, or a bunch of long beeps, or one long beep. But this guy's computer was making beep codes that sounded like an Epic Webbox. It was so awful. It was like, I could not get it. Like I could not find anything online pertaining to that beep code. I did not know anything pertaining to that beep code. The motherboard's manual did not say anything about that beep code. So I was like, dude, I don't know what's wrong with this like computer from hell. I'll take it off your hands for like $100, so at least I can like recoup the loss of the 3060 like for parts on eBay. If it like doesn't work. And he was like, okay, that's fine. So he dropped it off. Here we are. So let's run down the parts list. So here are the parts that were all inside of it. I gutted it so I could troubleshoot, which I'll tell you about in a bit. But there's the 3060 I was telling you about. 3060, pretty good condition, MSI version, so 12 gigabytes of VRAM. Here's the motherboard, old X79 board, so it's got 8 DIMM slots with 4 gigabytes of DDR3 populated in 4 of the slots. Under the hood is an i7 4960K, I believe. Comes with the IO shield. And the fan over there, of course. For storage, it had a 1TB SATA SSD along with a 250TB SSD, or sorry, 250GB SSD. This one had boot on it, a C drive. In terms of a power supply, which I was thinking was the issue at first, it was this Corsair 750-watt unit. But turned out wasn't the issue. But again, I'll get into troubleshooting in a bit. But that is all the parts that came with this build. Alright, so as you can see here, I have all the parts assembled in test bench formation. Kind of jerry-rigged everything together. Power supply's over there, obviously powering everything up. And I have attached here a front panel header that I ripped out of an old case, so this is going to act as our power on button. But, long story short, the fix to this troubleshooting was, like, frighteningly easy. So what I did is, the first step I always do is I clear the CMOS, and usually it doesn't fix anything. Sometimes it does, but usually it doesn't. Normally when it's something this bad, it's a bigger issue. But I left the CMOS battery out for about 10 minutes, put it back in, hooked everything up to my test bench, hooked it up to my monitor, and it posted. First try, first try, nothing. It was literally just the CMOS battery. So I replaced the CMOS battery, that reset the BIOS settings. I'm wondering if he had some sort of like strange overclocking like setting on, or I have zero clue what happened. But just for proof's sake, there you see the graphics card. I'm not sure if you can see that, but the graphics card just lit up. So everything's working. So this guy just kind of shoveled off to me a $100 3060 computer, which is nuts. But anyways, we got it to work. So moral of the story: reset your CMOS. That's really the only moral I have. Oh, remember, Bite Force John is always watching.